We've got this storm that's over Newcastle right now, and that is where Mike is at. And do we have his shot yet?
Mike's stream's still down.
Mike's stream's still down, okay. We're looking kind of interesting with this one, though. It's got a hook on that one. We do have his audio, though. Let's actually talk with Mike here. We don't have your stream, but Mike, you've got audio here. Let us know what you're seeing right now as you're kind of moving right through the highest reflectivity near Newcastle. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you, Mike. Yep.
Massive hail. Golf ball size hail and bigger plummeting Newcastle right now.
Okay, so we got very large hail, golf ball size, if not even bigger than that, coming from Mike.
It's a lot of it's been falling for about the last 5 minutes straight.
Okay, and you are currently traveling generally southward, correct? Oh, we just got our new.
I'm actually stopped under
Okay. Yeah, so we've got now just off to the southeast of where Mike is at here. Our radar's picking up on the potential here for some very large hail, up to around 2 inches in diameter. And Mike, you said within the past couple minutes, this is really just kind of really increased intensity, correct?
I don't know what reason. The tornado sirens are going off in Newcastle.
Say that one more time. You have the tornado sirens going off in the Newcastle area?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Yep. So we got some very, very large hail with that one too. So we're gonna be checking in with you, and once we get your stream back up, we'll try to check in with that. As you can see, where Mike is at, he's got very, very high reflectivity values there. We were seeing with our radar that the potential here for some large hail is definitely present there in the Newcastle area, and it also does look like there's a little bit in the way of a hook with that one too. So rotation-wise, on our velocity, doesn't exactly look to be the greatest there, but it is still something we have to keep an eye on here as we take a look at more storms down the line here. Well, anything you're seeing, Ross?
I would say just a quick reminder for that storm moving through Newcastle right now. This is headed pretty much straight for downtown Moore. So just as a heads up for people who live, northeast of here, you got very, very large hail headed your way, not just for the folks in Newcastle right now, but also for the south sides of OKC and the Moore area. With regards to anything new, it's pretty much a lot of the same here. Anywhere from
a lot of reports.
Yeah, a lot of reports of anywhere from about 1 inch to nearly 2.5 inch sized hail, pretty much anywhere along kind of the I-35 and I-44 corridor here. So a lot of people are just kind of getting hit pretty hard here right now. And
the storm that Mike is on, I think right now has, from the National Weather Service, the highest hail size out of that one, coming in at around 2.5 inches. So that is looking to be quite damaging here out of that storm. And it's definitely the biggest one, too, on the radar that we can see within the metro area right now, too. Again, we're looking at some very, very high hail sizes out of that one, too, and potentially also over the Yukon area, too. This one is also kind of pulsed up here pretty high. In fact, based on our model or radar estimates here, we are looking at the potential for it to be potentially greater than 3 inches in diameter over the Yukon area right now. So really got to be treating these like they were tornado warnings here. You want to make sure that you are in your safe spot and you're away from the windows, because this hail is going to be doing some big time damage here in these locations. We also have more severe thunderstorm warnings here down the line, down to our south. So by Chickasha, we've got another, again, very, very large core of the potential here for some large hail there. Anadarko, we've got that supercell there too, also has the potential for some large hail. So a number of warnings here for us here this evening, all of which have a hail component to them. You can see that storm that's over the Chickasha area has got the probably the bigger hail out of it compared to the one closer to Anadarko and Washita. But again, still looking at some very large hail out of these storms. In terms of any more warnings, Ross, I think those were the farthest south ones, correct? There's no more warnings south of there?
Nope.
Yeah, because at that point, we're looking at the dry line to be kind of right around there, and you really are not going to be able to get any storms behind the dry line. So a number of warnings that are currently out here for the individual cells that are out there. And so we'll just kind of repeat through here. Ross, you seen anything over there? I'm just getting some alerts, and I didn't know if that was...
Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning now out for Blaine, Caddo, Canadian, Kingfisher counties until 7. So that, I believe, we're still waiting on to be issued here. I believe that's going to be for the...
Mike? Can we try going to Mike?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got his stream up.
Okay. Mike, if you can hear us, We have your stream. It's pretty pixelated here, but it does look like we can see some hailstones on the ground. Looks like you're by a play set. Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. Yep.
So the tornado sirens are still going off here
Okay.
in Newcastle.
In Newcastle.
Pretty much, this hail has been falling pretty much without precipitation. So it's just basically everything is just being pulled into the updraft and sent back down as hail. So hail just falling out of the sky with basically no rain.
So okay, so it's basically just all hail out there then.
Right.
Okay.
And I sent some pictures to you that you can look at and maybe get up of at least bigger than golf ball, almost baseball size hail.
Yep,
Close to it, tennis ball size.
We just got that one picture that you just sent us here, and so we can have Ross work on that here in a little bit. But in terms of any damage where you're at, can you really see any damage where you're at? I know it's just been tough to see.
No, just tree leaves off the trees and stuff like that. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of damage to vehicles out here. A lot.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case here for a lot of them. Okay, Mike, we'll check back in here with you in just a little bit, and stay safe out there with that hail. So like Mike was saying, this storm here that is now moving just generally off now to the Newcastle area here, where we've got the largest hail just off to the east of the Newcastle area here. Our radar's picking up on the potential here for over 3-inch in diameter hail with that one. He says that the tornado sirens are sounding there, and so we need to make sure that, especially if you're in the Moore area here on the north side of Norman, that you're also paying attention to, because we do have, again, this is the largest hail core itself, but we have the potential here for more large hail out of these storms coming in and kind of surrounding this area here. So this would be potentially, this core itself would be crossing I-35 here to generally just to the south of the shops at Moore, at least based on current trajectory right now. So we're going to be watching that one here very close. That's probably going to be our strongest storm that we have out there. So that is where Mike is at, and we'll check back in with him here in just a little bit. We'll still go to the north here. Let's go all the way to the north one here. So we've got by the Meridian area here by Shiloh. We've got more high reflectivity. The hail size also is likely going to be pretty large with this one too. We're going to be looking at the potential here for some at least quarter-size hail, if not even larger than that, getting closer to your ping pong size. So nearby the Meridian area, it's going to be generally just off to the east and to the southeast of the Guthrie area, heading towards the Langston area here. All these storms moving generally off to the northeast, and this is the northernmost storm that we do have. Let's go back now into the metro area here. So we've got now over the Bethany area, and also now moving generally to the northeast of the Yukon area by War Acres. We've got, especially by near north of Lake Overholser, and to the west of the Wiley Post Airport, we do have the potential here for some very large hail also with that core too. So again, for the Bethany area, north of the Yukon area, and really Yukon probably saw some very large hail not that long ago as that core passed directly over them. So that one is also now really increased in our intensity, and that's moving generally off to the northeast. So locations to the north and to the northeast of there are going to also have to kind of watch things here. We've got Edmond now kind of in the clear currently, as that storm earlier on dropped some large hail on that one. But as you can clearly tell here, we've got essentially 2 more storms here down to the south of the Edmond area, which will be heading in their direction. So we have more on the way there. And then we continue to see more in the way of some storms heading down along I-44. That storm by total looks to be a little bit weaker now. So on the southwest side of Mustang, that one's a little bit weaker. Still possible some little bit of the way of some hail there. But really, though, we're looking at quite the large storm here with this Newcastle one. So locations also in the Moore area on the north side of Norman, but also including the Norman area too. We're really going to have to watch out for that large hail core that'll be working its way over the area there too. Again, radar estimates here coming in potentially bigger than 3 inches. So this is very, very big, very damaging hail. And so you want to make sure, again, the Moore area here by the Stanley Draper area, we got to make sure that we're looking out for us here down the line as these again, this storm here that's got some very, very large hail, very damaging hail, continues to move off to the northeast.
And Jack, folks, really, you had mentioned earlier that the sirens were going off in Newcastle. People should probably just treat this as if it was like a tornado warning.
Absolutely.
With hail that big, This is very, very dangerous. So please seek shelter now. Get to your safe place because, like you've pretty much just been saying, this is a very, very large hail moving through these parts.
Yeah, and we have a tornado watch in effect until 11 o'clock. We have currently seen no tornado warnings as of right now, but we do have to just kind of really treat these as if they were tornado warnings because these are very, very strong, severe thunderstorms that are out there.
And we don't really have a lot of rotation. There's a little bit of some broad mid-level rotation down near Chickasha, and then a little bit of kind of where that hook was showing up near Newcastle. There also is some broad rotation, but overall, nothing serious that would at least warrant a tornado warning at this time. So pretty much just the hail threat for the time being.
Yeah, if anything, we've got definitely rotation with this storm here, as it does look to have, you can clearly tell that there's got the hook on it, but that's probably more so here to really just bring home the point of the fact that we're looking at this to be a big hail setup here for us. And so, again, as you kind of, if you wouldn't mind, Ross, kind of zooming out a little bit, and you can kind of see that the one that Mike is on, the Newcastle one heading towards Moore and to the north side of Norman here, and then down to the southwest along I-44, the Chickasha one, they look very similar on the radar currently. So you've got, again, there's definitely rotation with that, helping that supercell to get to its height that it's at to create these large hailstones that we've seen in place here. But that's kind of how things are looking like right now as everything is moving generally off to the northeast. So
we do have one new warning here, Jack.
Yep, this new one just came out here. So this one is going to be on the far western side of the metro area. It's actually west of El Reno. So there is Bridgeport area there too, just on the south side of Gary in the Carnes area, Calumet. We've got the potential there for some hail up to around inch in diameter, and the potential there for some larger or stronger wind gusts rather. But the way that things have been going here this evening is that everything pulses up very, very fast, and that potentially could have larger hail associated with it here in the not too distant future. Again, we'll go over the Lake Hefner area here. So here we have the Wiley Post Airport. This is going to be more so for North Oklahoma City, for your War Acres, for your Bethany. We are looking at the potential here for some large hail with it. Now, most of that's going to be most likely on the north side of Lake Hefner right now, where that highest reflectivity is showing up. And this is moving off to our northeast. So locations, again, in the Edmond area, going to have to watch out for that. In terms of our hail size there, we're looking at the potential here of around inch and a half worth of hail. And like Mike had said a little earlier on, that a lot of our precipitation that's falling out of these storms is just hail. There's actually very little rain with them. So we could be looking at this mainly just in the form of hail that is out there. Again, it's going to be on the northwest side of the OKC metro area there. So essentially from Bethany, War Acres to northern Oklahoma City, you're going to be have to watching out for that.
Hey, Jack, we did just hear in from the National Weather Service that spotter reports are showing an increase in some of that rotation near Newcastle, so just something else we might want to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Good news is that Mike is just on the south side of where that rotation potentially is, so if something does happen to spin up, Mike's going to be right there on it for you, but just another thing to note.
And let's see if we can check in with Mike here, if his shot is up. Oh, wow. Yeah, so let's go to Mike right now. And Mike, tell us where you're at right now and what you're seeing. Looks very impressive there with that mesocyclone.
Yeah, absolutely. Stick with me on this.
Yep.
We got the stream up finally. I am right here. There is a really condensed area of rotation. You guys should see it right now. There is not a tornado on the ground. I would not be surprised if they warned this storm very, very quickly. I mean, it is got a nice clear spot here, and it is. You'll see it right here.
Yep. Yep.
You have the stream up, right?
Yep. We got you. It looks crystal clear. Crystal
okay,
clear.
Okay. So I am basically in South Newcastle. So this would likely miss Newcastle, but we're going to focus on it's tornado warned right now.
Yep. I just got the warning. Yep. Tornado warning right now for that storm.
Okay. So we're watching this live.
Yep.
So if it happens, we will watch this happen right here.
Yeah, so we've got right now, the radar is definitely going to be picking up on that rotation, but we can clearly see where Mike is at here. Crystal clear picture of that. You've got the good lowering there, Mike, got the good lightning strike there, but you got a good lowering there with the wall cloud. Your shot is crystal clear right now.
Rain-free base right now. We're going to watch this right here. So I would be, what are we looking at? So we're anywhere. Norman, Moore area, you need to be ready.
Yep,
we're definitely increasing right now on the tightness of the rotation. But like I said, if it is going to happen, we will see it right here.
Yeah, because you are in the perfect spot right now. And again, locations within Moore and Norman, especially on the north side of Norman, need to make sure that they are in their safe spot right now. We've got this warning here currently radar indicated, but Mike is right on it here. You can see the rotation. And so if it wanted to drop something, it's going to drop something basically right there where he's looking at. And so we need to make sure that we are very, very careful with this one here. Mike, you said you're just off to the east of Newcastle, correct?
I'm south of Newcastle, and by the way, this Chickasha storm, we're in the same environment, so let's watch that Chickasha storm too, because it's got a hook on it as well. So we're coming into the time of day. We have the low-level jet moving in and stuff like this. So it was a conditional threat today, and obviously this one is in it for the long haul, and we're very early in this event. So we may have multiple tornado-warned storms as we go through the evening here.
Yeah, and we also we are going to just take the radar real quick.
I was going to say, Mike, you stay on the line here. I'm just going to go back to the radar real fast so we can track this for folks and kind of give them an idea of how much time they have here to take their tornado precautions. Jack, do you know how fast this thing was moving?
Yeah, let me check that here really quick. I will say
east at 25.
Yeah, I will say also with these storms too is that this one it's turned right, and so most of our storms have been moving generally off to the northeast. This one is now definitely more of an easterly turn here, so it's turned more storm relative to the right, which does usually indicate that it is strengthening. So again, locations: Southmore High School 6:30, Oak Ridge Elementary School 6:30, Warren Theater 6:34, Shops at Moore 6:34, Norman Regional Moore 6:35, Max Westmeyer Airport there 6:35. The city of Moore itself, 636. And you can kind of just see going down the line here all the way to the Clothier area there at 643. So let's go back to Mike's shot here and just take a look at what his shot is showing right now. And Mike, how does things look right now? It looks to be like you're getting a little bit in the way of some rain right now.
We're broadening out a little bit on the rotation.
Yeah, it's what it looks like.
That doesn't mean anything. These things can just do what they want to do very, very quickly. So we broaden out a little bit on the rotation, but like I said, that this storm and your Chickasha storm as well, you need to be very weather aware in the Chickasha area or south of that. Anybody on I-44 going from Chickasha to Oklahoma City, there's really not a lot of places to get off, but be very careful driving down I-44 right now.
Yeah, so we're still watching your stream right now. It looks like it has kind of broadened out a little bit here also for us as well. Does the rotation to your eyes look to be as apparent to your eyes?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a focus, and you can see right in the middle of the screen there a little bit of white right there.
Yeah.
So that's a condensation funnel trying to form. But like I said, the storm is tornado warned. But if there is a tornado, we will see it right here. So as of right now, there is not a tornado, but it very possibly could be very quickly here.
Yep. And so we're gonna check back in your shot here in just a moment. Once we're just gonna finish up with our post here with Ross. But we are watching your shot here very closely. And like Mike was saying here, Ross, if we're able to, I know you got a lot of people that are over by you right now. But could we go down to that Chickasha storm right now, just kind of see that it also has that hook with it too. So we're going to have to watch that one too fairly closely. This one looks to be very similar to where it looks like with the one that Mike is on right now. But there it would be right there, that potential rotation should it try to kind of strengthen up here. Looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning out of it, but it's a severe thunderstorm warning too. So we'll go back to this one here in a moment, but we first want to go back to our tornado warned storm. If we wouldn't mind here, Ross, putting another track on there again. This is now moving towards the Moore area right now too. It's going to be passing to the north of the Norman area, and this storm is moving about 25 miles an hour. So if you've got locations like Norman here, 636, Hall Park at 639, Lazy Day Lake 640. You've got Irving Middle School around 640, also all the way to Stanley Draper Lake at 651. So within these locations, we want to make sure that you're seeking shelter because because in addition to the chance here for an actual tornado, we are also looking at some very large hail out of this one here too. If we wouldn't mind, let's go back onto Mike's shot there. And Mike, looks like you got a little bit in the way of some scud that is trying to be picked up there on your camera shot.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a massive mesocyclone that's trying to fold in on itself, and it could be anywhere. It's not, the tornado doesn't always fall out of the middle or on the right or on the left, so we're watching the whole area here, and it could be anywhere if it does occur, and if it happens, it can happen very, very, very quickly. Matter of fact, look at the left of my screen right there.
Yeah, it looks like it's...
See what we got going on here.
Yep, so that's trying to... Looks like you got a little bit more of a lowering right there. It's trying right now, and you can see that, I definitely would say based on our image here that the rotation looks to be easier to see on our clouds compared to the last time we checked in on you. So this one looks to be a bit more impressive now with this kind of retightening of our circulation.
Right, absolutely. So we're getting lower to the ground here, so let's see what happens here.
And you are looking to the northeast, is that correct? Right now, just kind of get your vantage point.
Right. So I'm basically sitting in South Newcastle, just a little north of the turnpike, and I'm looking towards the northeast. So I would be looking towards the Moore area right now.
Got it.
So we're watching this right now. So this is the best development we've seen so far. So you just stick with me here. This is what's going on.
Yep, that is it here. So we've got, again, as of right now, this is the only tornado warning that we have out there. We have multiple storms, though, that have dropped tremendous amounts of hail, very large hail, potentially up to baseball size in a few locations. And so we're really looking at these storms to be doing quite a bit of damage here, regardless of whether or not they are tornado warned or not, because of the large hail that is associated with these storms, including this one itself, too. But as of right now, this is the only one that we have right now that has a tornado warning on it. Locations like Moore on the north side of Norman need to make sure that you are in your safe spot as we continue to monitor that storm. Again, you can see where Mike is at right now. He's just to the south of Newcastle. He's looking to the northeast towards Moore, and you've got our velocity up right now. You can see the rotation clearly visible there within our velocity, but it looks very good with his picture right now. So we're going to be watching this storm here very closely. Again, moving generally to the northeast at about 25 miles an hour or so. Mike, we'll come back to you now. Looks like it's still trying its hardest right now to get to the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a few areas here, and if it's out by itself and there wasn't a lot going on around it, there'd probably be a tornado right now. But it's competing with things going on around it, and this area, has kind of been exposed to some storms before this deal, so it's, we hope that we're not going to show you a tornado. We don't want that, obviously.
Correct.
So, but as of right now, it's trying, and conditions are kind of getting a little bit, as we get closer to the the evening time, the conditions are getting a little bit better for this to possibly do something. But as of right now, you see the whole picture right here, and we do not have a tornado on the ground just yet.
Yep, but it is definitely rotating. It definitely could at any point, which is why, again, we are looking at this to be the only tornado-warned storm as of right now. You've got the Hall Park area there, 642, again, all the way to the Stanley Draper Lake area at 652 for timing-wise there. It's moving off to the east at about 25 miles an hour. And we've got, again, more severe thunderstorm warnings that are out there, too. Just looking at the reflectivity here, again, another mess there in Edmond as more storms are working their way through the area there. On the north side of the metro area, heading towards Guthrie, also by the Perkins area, too, including the Stillwater area. That one also has a severe thunderstorm warning with that one too, but as you can tell, we have many cells here that are all basically warned, and they are all for mainly large hail that is out there. But we again have that tornado warning that is in effect for portions or cities including the Moore area, Norman, and then extending off more to our east from there. And so Ross is going to change out his battery here with his microphone, and Ross, if you wouldn't mind just kind of clicking over to Mike's shot again, just kind of check back in again and see where he's at. So it looks to be, Mike, that you obviously still have some lowering. It may not look to be as impressive as what it was trying to be just a little bit ago.
No, it's definitely, like I said, it's trying to get its act together, but when you have the circulation kind of moving from one area to the next, that shows that there's disorganization right now. But definitely there is rotation for sure. We just don't have anything on the ground.
Yep. So we've got, again, and I know that where you're at's been very dry right now, so you've got a good vantage point. But like you said, we are looking at this storm to be impacted by other storms nearby because of once another storm kind of moves in that area there, it kind of works over the atmosphere, and it just isn't as good. And so that's kind of what we're seeing here. Would you say?
Right. Yeah. So we have the storm in Mustang, and then you have the one to the south. So it's really it's in the worst position it could be in as far as trying to get good inflow. So good. That's good. But that's why that Chickasha storm is a little more concerning, because it's the same environment, and that storm has not really got a lot to compete with right now.
Yeah, and really the whole reason why that is important is because the fact that our forecast has been very conditional with our storms today. There was a potential here that we weren't going to see actually anything at all. So the fact that we were able to see as many storms as we did was definitely just shows that they're able to break through the cap there and create these storms. But when they're kind of competing with each other, it gets kind of hard. So we do have a new tornado warning that was issued here for that same storm here that is kind of moving generally downstream. And so, Ross, if you're all good here, what are the new updates with that one there that you got?
On our
tornado warned storm, yeah.
Yeah, the current one, they just really canceled it and shrunk it down. So McLean County no longer included in that. The rest of it has just kind of gotten a little bit narrower.
Yeah.
Downtown Norman is now out of this tornado warning.
Yep.
But most of downtown Moore is really anywhere north of Norman up until Moore is now in this warning. One more thing I just want to add: there's obviously a lot of folks just driving home from work right now. So
yes.
Highways and overpasses, things like that, going to be very busy out there, which Mike has kind of been mentioning out there on the road. So just one more thing to kind of keep in mind.
Yeah, because a lot of what he's actually seen has not really been a whole lot of rain. It's been basically just a lot of hail out there. So we've got issues with that. So we've got Mike's shot back up again. And Mike, you've got that lowering is still there, but it's really looking to be less impressive. But it is still rotating, correct?
And that's actually not the area I'm having to reposition here.
Oh, gotcha.
So, I'm going to go north through Newcastle and then up towards Moore.
Okay.
On the southwest side here. It's not really like radar-wise and otherwise. It's not like looking like it had its best time. I mean, it looked much more impressive scientifically wise about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So
yep.
let's maybe this will kind of broaden out and we'll be okay with this. But still, regardless, Moore and all that, we've already been seeing large hail, and Newcastle received a lot of large hail, and at least bigger than golf ball size. There may have been some bigger than that. So as of right now, kind of a downtrend on it, but we're going to keep watching it.
Yeah, and obviously it is approaching the Twin Lakes radar, so on the radar it may not look as impressive, but we do have Mike's eyes on it too, and it also just physically does not look as impressive as it did before, but it still is rotating. That's why there still is that tornado warning with it until 7 o'clock. So we are looking at that to be primarily a majority here of the northern side of Cleveland County, and you can see with our hail size there too that it is large, again, over the Moore area there, where you could be looking at spots that are closing in and around 2-inch in diameter hail. Also with our hail too, we do want to make sure that other locations are still notified here. We've got on our hail off to our northeast here, so we've got north of the Calumet area there too. That one on the west side of Canadian County, that one's got some very, very large hail. That one has spiked up here quite a bit. That one potentially also has 2 inches, 3-inch in diameter hail that could be greater than that too. So we're looking at that to be the case here just to the north of the Calumet area. So a number of severe thunderstorm warnings out there primarily for the hail threat, and we also are still looking at more in the way of just the overall metro area too. Here we've got another storm that's got severe thunderstorm warnings on it too for portions of Canadian County. That one's heading towards the Yukon area here too, and eventually potentially over the same locations nearby the Lake Overholser area, Bethany, War Acres. Those locations once again going to get some very heavy rain out of that one, and the potential here for some large hail that could be at least quarter size in diameter, if not more. So we've got a number of storms here that continue to have that large hail threat with them too. Even to the north of Edmond there, we've got over the Waterloo area, we've got a large area there where there's the potential here for some inch in diameter hail out of that one. And then down farther to our southwest, we do have that Chickasha storm that we've still been kind of keeping an eye on there too. That one also has, again, the potential here for some inch and a half in diameter hail. And that one is now moving now generally off to primarily to the northeast of the Chickasha area. You got one little batch left to go, and then it's going to be out of there. And this one has also had some rotation with it too. This one has always remained severe thunderstorm warned, but we still have to watch out for that one too. This also has more supercellular characteristics like the storm that is in Cleveland County right now. Ross, you got anything new over there that you're seeing? I'm going to step off and just see if I got anything over here.
Yeah, National Weather Service just said rotation increasing on a radar, roughly right around I-35 and the Flood Street exit. So a lot of folks are going to know that is just to the north of Norman.
Yep.
As you're headed up kind of towards I-35, or on I-35, I should say. So you can clearly see that here, really kind of near I-35 and in between Franklin Road and Tecumseh Road. Flood Avenue, just like National Weather Service mentioned there. So north sides of Norman, south sides of Moore, headed towards Lake Stanley Draper, just off then to the northeast. So still have some rotation there. It is kind of increasing here once again, so we're not going to go off of this storm here just yet. I'm going to pop over to Mike's stream real fast just to kind of see where he's at. So I'm assuming he's probably moving back up through I-35. I'm not sure if we have Mike on or not.
Yeah, Mike, if you can hear us, just we've got your shot up right now. Just kind of let us know what your plan is if you're still trying to head back up towards the Moore area.
Right, I'm getting ready to get on I-44 here, and I'm actually going to go towards go down I-40 because that's moving northeast. I'm going to go towards Tinker area and out towards Choctaw. That's where that storm will end up going. But I'm just that storm to the southwest is it's going to probably end up trying to do something. So
yeah, because
it's absolutely in a much better environment than this storm is even in.
Yeah, because that one, that's the Chickasha one that Mike's referring to there, and that one again is it's like what we like to call the tail end Charlie there. It's the last cell there, so it's got a lot more good conditions to be working with. So we're gonna watch that one here closely. But Mike, like he said, he's trying to get himself repositioned there, and so we're gonna continue to talk more about this storm that is moving through portions of Cleveland County area there. We are to the north of Norman now, looking primarily with that rotation there to be on the south side of Moore, but more likely seeing a lot of the way in the large hail out of that one too. So we've got Lazy Day Lake still about 646 all the way to the Denver area now at 703. So locations that you live in and around these areas, want to make sure that you're in your safe spot. Get there as quick as you can, as this storm has exhibited a lot of good rotation here as it's moving generally off to the east at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Large hail also associated with not only this storm but all the other storms too. So that is going to again be a big concern here with these hail here. And so if you are having to go out here, just hold off until these storms pass you by, because the large hail is definitely going to be damaging to your car, and we'd be looking at potentially even making travel difficult here. In some spots, we're starting to see it trying to accumulate in a few locations from earlier on. So we're definitely going to be watching these move off to the east-northeast here with that hail threat associated with them. Again, we have this tornado warning that does go until 7 o'clock, and this one has always remained radar indicated. We saw from Mike's shot earlier on that it had very, very good rotation, but it was just not able to make its way all the way down to the ground just yet. But we're going to be looking at this Chickasha storm here, because this is the one that if it wants to do something, it also has the potential here too. You've got the good looking hook or so on the radar. There's some broad rotation with it, so it's trying to get going. It's also trying to turn a bit more to the right as of right now too. And there's also, as you'd imagine, a large hail potentially with it too, some strong winds, and these locations just saw that storm move through about a half hour ago. We've got another one knocking on the doorstep right now, coming in on the southwest side of the metro area there, moving generally to the northeast. And all these storms have been along and to the east of our dry line that's been in place. It was always going to be a conditional threat for storms, which means that we really weren't sure how many of them we were going to see. We may have only seen a couple of them. We've seen quite a bit more than I think that we were anticipating here because of the conditions that were in place. Those storms were able to break through the cap, and as you can see now, we've got multiple supercell thunderstorms out there that have primarily a hail threat with them, but we do have the one tornado warned storm here still working through the southeast side of the metro area. Ross, you got anything over there?
We've seen some reports of some small limbs and tree damage to the northwest side of Norman.
Okay.
So likely just to to the northwest of where this system or where this potentially tornado warned storm came through. Again, we've seen plenty of reports of different sized hail pretty much all across the central part of the state. And the National Weather Service did just continue this tornado warning. This now goes, it's still until 7 o'clock. They shrunk the west side of it, so now it just kind of includes the Moore, Clothier, Lake Stanley, Draper, Franklin, Stella, the Newalla Woods area. So it's now moving a little bit further to the east of the Twin Lakes radar, at least with regards to where that warning polygon now covers.
Gotcha. Ross, how hard is it going to be to try to get the Moore camera up?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I can do that.
Yeah, okay. So here we got our quad boxes up here. We've got various shots from in and around the downtown area there. We've got here at our station that is in the top left corner there too. You've got the Bricktown area in your top right. And then we have right in downtown itself. And then we also have our Cumulus Lake Hefter camera looking to the west there in your bottom right. If you need to, Ross, what I can do is we can, do you have that shot pulled up?
What I was going to do didn't work, so if you give
Okay.
me 1 second here.
I was to say, if not, I can actually ask them if you guys wouldn't mind taking links 2. I can just control links 2 while you try to get that set up here. So if you guys wouldn't mind taking links 2 in the control room here, I'm just going to change a couple of settings here, get us into position here as I take over and just take links 2 full screen for now. So again, we are going to be looking at the reflectivity here. Let me just get everything all set in order. And let me turn off the tornado watch that we have in effect. And so again, there we go. We've got our warnings that are out there currently. These have all formed very quickly, and in fact, we just got a new tornado warning for our Chickasha storm here. As it was, we were talking about here for quite a while now that one had some good areas of rotation with it. So Grady County, we've got that portion of Grady County until 7:30, as well as portions of McLean County for our new tornado warning that is to the north of Chickasha. You can see that we've got this area of rotation that is basically right over the interstate right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change over to our velocity, and I'm going to turn off our lightning too to make it a little bit easier. And again, you can see right there that we are looking at that area of rotation right by the amber area there. That is our area of rotation, and that's going to be moving off to our east. And let me just get the latest information on that one while Ross is trying to get our camera situation set up here. This tornado warning, as we just said, for portions of Grady and McLean counties goes until 7:30. It's moving at 20 miles an hour to our northeast. It's got radar indicated rotation, as we can definitely see there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a track on that one here and let you know locations that are going to be in the way of that one.
Jack, I'm also good over here whenever.
Oh, you're good? Okay. All right. Let me do this track real quick on links 2, and we'll then go over to Ross's camera back on links 1 there. So looks like, hold on here. Storm track. Try this again. It's basically by the Amber area there, by the Blanchard area. We're looking at the potential for this storm to drop a tornado at any point. It's got the radar indicated rotation. There is Bridge Creek again, so some of the same locations that saw that storm that is currently tornado warned to the east of it now has another tornado warning on it too. So we want to make sure, again, we are treating this very seriously here for not only the tornado threat, but also the hail threat too. Large hail associated with this one too, especially just off to the northwest of the Chickasha area there. We've got potential there for some hail size that could be upwards of 2 inches, 3 inches with that one too. So again, a large hail producer out of that storm. Let's go now to links 1. We'll take links 1 back like normal, and we'll take what Ross has right now.
Well, so I just want to add National Weather Service saying that more storm is not looking nearly as impressive on radar, which is good news. That's what we want to hear. The low-level circulation starting to weaken a little bit. It's starting to get off, cut off, I should say, probably from some of these other storms here as well. So visually, the storm not looking as good. But again, you've kind of covered the strong storm down there near Chickasha. Very large hail, like you mentioned, and also that rotation. Here's just a quick look at the camera.
At the Moore camera there. So yeah, so you've got now with the, again, it was hard to get to, I know, so I appreciate you trying to take a second to get to shot there. But again, it's we've got some more bright sunshine showing through there because the storm is primarily now to the east of the Moore area now too. So back to our radar, you can see that things look to be less impressive with that one there too. It's obviously close to the radar, but even still, though, the way it's moving, it's just not as impressive anymore. We'll still keep an eye on that one there, as it does still have some areas of broad rotation, but the rotation's kind of in the wrong spot here. But still, though, it still has rotation with it, which means that it's still capable of producing a tornado really at any moment. So locations like we've been naming now for a number of times, like the Clothier area there. Now we've got Mike Williams shot up. Mike, if you wouldn't mind just kind of telling us where you're at right now, and let us know what your plan is, as we have another tornado warning that is out in effect.
The bit of rotation that's left with this storm, and actually, I mean, in the last 2 minutes, it's kind of ramped back up here. So
okay,
we're referring to this Moore or this Cleveland County tornado warned storm. So yeah, so it is close to the radar site, so that's a little deceiving. But you can see right there on the stream an area of scud that's rotating right now below the mesocyclone. So I'm going to stay in this area, and the other storm is actually, going to come through this area as well. So it's, I can't be in two places at once, darn it, but we'll try.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, Mike. We'll come back to you there again. He's looking at that rotation there, so he's heading towards Moore right now. And again, it is close to the radar. It does, though, have still that area of rotation with it. Even if it doesn't look to be as good as it once did, about 15, 20 minutes ago, it is still there. So we're going to continue to watch that one. But again, new tornado warning down farther to our south now. And we've got other severe thunderstorm warnings that are impacting more of the western and northwestern sides of the metro area. So Ross, if you wouldn't mind, could you do another track on that southern tornado warned storm here? Just let's see if that one is able to pick up on a bit more in the way of some cities out there for us. Moving generally off to our northeast at about 20, 25 miles an hour or so. So the Middleburg area, 706, Bridge Creek, 710, and Blanchard being picked up there at 716. So if you live within these areas here, please make sure that you are seeking shelter right now, as again, we have another tornado warned storm that is in effect. And we're still looking at not only the chance here for this storm to have a tornado that is able to come out of that storm, we've also still have the very, very large hail that has been present with all of these storms here, as we've taken the past couple hours with these storms on this coverage so far. We've really seen a lot of these storms have very, very large hail with it too. So you get the high reflectivity now just off to the north of the Chickasha area. That's going to be where our largest hail is there. And again, radar is picking up on the potential here of estimates of 3 inches or more in diameter of hail. And within the tornado warned portion of the supercell too, we've got a potential there of around 2-inch in diameter hail. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a few things for you.
Yeah.
So some good news for some folks, that Moore and Norman tornado warning, so the one there for Cleveland County that Mike has been on, that tornado warning is likely going to be dropped and replaced with just a severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay.
So that's some good news.
Yep.
That's kind of in sync with what Mike has been saying, with that storm looking weaker, just kind of some scud below that rotation. One other thing, for our friends well off to the northwest in Kingfisher, we do still have a severe thunderstorm warned storm moving through there. And although our Barron button and our hail tracker might not necessarily be showing it, you do have the potential for nearly 1.5 inch to 2 inch sized hail moving through downtown Kingfisher there in Kingfisher County. So still a fairly strong hail core, pretty isolated up there, moving through Kingfisher County. But just one more thing that we want to keep keep folks aware of and keep them in mind here.
Yeah, because again, the setup was always going to be today for there to be some large hail that has for sure outperformed itself. That's for sure with all these storms out there that have very large hail. But there was also earlier on this afternoon the potential there that our tornado threat was kind of increasing a little bit, and that is exactly what has happened now, especially on these southern storms. And really, though, again, even though the storm that Mike is on has, again, it's close to the radar there, we can definitely still, though, tell, though, that in terms of just overall size, that the one that is to his southwest looks to be a much larger storm there. So we're talking about much larger impacts here. You've got the good rotation there being seen on our just regular reflectivity. You've got with the velocity there, areas of broad rotation. So we're looking at that to be amber just off to the north of the Middleburg area there. It's probably actually maybe that rotation probably a bit more on the southern edge there of that that warning polygon there. So probably just along and probably just off to the southeast there of I-44. But you've got the Middleburg area right there, which is going to be the text is just outside of the polygon box, but treat yourself like you are in that because you're right on the edge there, as that is moving probably going to be very close, maybe just to your north, based on the way that currently things have been moving, generally to the east-northeast at around 20 to 25 miles an hour. The Blanchard area also within that too, Bridge Creek, and even also the Newcastle area too, has also that potential to still be in that area that we have to watch out for. They are currently in the polygon that does go until 7:30. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, 7:30. But again, we'll have to see how later updates to our polygon affect that. But still, even the Newcastle area, even though you just got out of a tornado-warned storm, you want to make sure that you're also seeking shelter now too, as it potentially could still be tracking to the northeast there, even towards by the time we get closer there to 7:30.
And Jack, we did just get a spotter report of some continued low-level rotation and potentially a funnel cloud just trying to get a little bit organized and begin to lower near the Chickasha area, which is where that rotation is. So that's likely a few minutes old from that report coming in. So since then, yes, it has probably moved pretty much right up along that I-44 highway and corridor there, up in between the Amber and Middleburg area.
Yeah, so we're going to just stay with our radar here. And again, you can see that, again, we've got just the very, very large hail that is possible with these storms here. And then we've also got our other severe thunderstorm warnings that are in more of the metro area. Again, don't want to forget about those. We've got, you can see over Lake Hefner again by the Wiley Post airports. Again, this is more Bethany and your War Acres and your North OKC and your Northwest OKC there. That could be dealing with some more in the way of some heavy rain and also the potential here too for some larger hail out of that one too. And then we've also got more storms that are off to our north as well by the Cashion area, Lakeview, Kingfisher, like Ross had mentioned earlier, the Langston area. We've got more severe thunderstorm warnings. In fact, we've got even now going more into Tulsa's area too. That storm that is just off to the east of the Glencoe area also has a severe thunderstorm warning with a 2 for its large hail. And that one also, you can see there, has a potential there for some 1 inch in diameter hail. So that's going to be obviously, as you'd imagine, pretty far away from the dry line. The dry line is still off to the west, but those storms were able to form along the dry line, and then they were able to get themselves going, have enough rotation to create that strong updraft to keep the hail and make it big for us here. And then they were able to move off the dry line and still continue to hold on to their strength there. So we're again watching these storms moving generally off to our northeast, and so many locations that already had warnings will probably just be in another warning not that long later, generally about a half hour or so behind that, as more storms are working their way through the area there. As we kind of go back down to our Southmore, again, a lot in the way of some coverage area over the northern part of the metro, especially on our northwest side there. You can see that kind of Yukon just going to be right there on the edge now with some of the rain showers there. Most of that is now generally off to your east and to your northeast. So you can kind of see that everything is now over more Bethany, War Acres, the northern and northwestern part of the metro area there. And then we also still have just some heavy rain and some hail associated with those too. Tinker, Midwest City, that's closer to the tornado-warned storm there too. And we've got 6 more minutes left of that warning. And again, even though it is very close to the radar, it doesn't look to be as impressive because it's close to our radar. We do know that there is still some rotation there. And we also still know too that there is a potential for some large hail there too. That might be kind of influenced by how close we are to the radar, but you kind of get the idea here though that we're still looking at a hail threat to be also present with this storm, even if its tornado aspects are not looking to be as impressive as it once did. As we go down now, back to our storm that also has a tornado warning on it too, for the Amber area, to the Middleburg area, Blanchard, Bridge Creek, Newcastle. You want to make sure that you are in your safe spot. We've got the area broad rotation that is present there too, and very, very large hail with that. So again, everything, at least as of right now, Ross, we've not seen anything confirmed on the ground or anything.
No, nothing confirmed just yet. This is all radar
all
indicated
radar
stuff.
indicated,
We've received some reports of
some
things
lowering.
lowering, some scud there, but overall, nothing that has actually touched the ground just yet.
Yeah, which is good, but the problem has always been is that these storms are still, they have rotation with them, but they are still dropping just huge hail, very damaging hail out of these storms too. And you can see by the reflectivity how we've got those purples and those pinks there, and even the kind of the whites and even the darker colors showing up there too. That just shows you that we've got a very, very tall supercell, and that means that we've got the potential here for some very large hail that'll be coming out of that too. So again, it still is going to be impacting locations like the Amber area there. We are looking at Bridge Creek, Blanchard, Newcastle. So kind of right there along 44, moving generally kind of parallel with I-44 as of right now with its movement there to the northeast. And this is the southernmost storm. You can see that as we zoom out, there's not much in the way of any activity behind it or to its south. So we don't have anything else kind of impeding on it here. The storms like to kind of breathe in there from the kind of south and the southeast, so there's nothing down there to impede on the inflow of that storm. That's why it has the potential here to keep on holding on to its strength.
And Jack, one more thing I just wanted to add. Well, first we have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming out for parts of Oklahoma County that also extend into Lincoln and Pottawatomie for that tornado warning storm.
Yep,
so that's the severe thunderstorm warning is going to end up replacing the tornado warning. But for this tornado warning storm down near Chickasha, not only do we kind of have this little inflow notch where some of that rotation has been seen just to the northwest of Middleburg, but also on the back side of it, it's kind of messy on velocity, but back to reflectivity, you can kind of also see a little bit of a hook there just to the north of Chickasha. So I think we kind of have multiple areas of some rotation going on in this storm.
And that would make sense based on how things are looking like today, was that especially with our later updates there as we got into the late morning, early afternoon, that tornado threat is kind of picking up there a little bit more, and we've kind of seen that coming into play here with these storms. And so really, though, these storms have blown up really over the past couple hours. We had a very quiet day, very windy day. Now these storms have just blown up, and they have the potential here for some very, very large hail. And you can see here, this is a large area with this supercell thunderstorm that has the potential here for at least quarter-size hail, if not even getting closer to 2-inch in diameter hail. So we're looking at a large area here potentially impacted with very damaging hail. We could also be seeing some strong winds out of these too, in addition to our threat for that tornado warning there, as again, it remains a radar indicated as of right now, which is good news, but we are still noticing many areas there of rotation, and with that rotation does come the threat where really at any point there we could be looking at a lowering, make it all the way down the ground there. You've got our confirmed tornado. So that's kind of how things are playing out right now. As you saw with Mike's shots earlier on this afternoon and this evening here, we had a good lowering, but it didn't make it all the way down to the ground. And that's probably what we're seeing here with this storm too. Again, it is moving pretty slowly to the northeast at around 20 miles an hour. And so many of the locations that we've been calling out for your Amber, north of Middleburg, heading towards Newcastle, want to make sure that you are taking precautions here and getting to shelter. And again, we've got, like Ross had said, this tornado warning is going to expire here in just a moment here, and it was replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning because it's kind of lost a little bit of its rotation with it, just basically on the way that it's been moving there. It doesn't look to be as impressive anymore in terms of what it looks like with velocity-wise. Over in the metro area, though, we're still dealing with more storms here. Again, your Edmond areas now are also now within range here of more in the way of some heavy rain, in addition to more in the way of some potentially larger hail. The larger hail itself, though, is closer to Northwest Expressway there, so it is a bit farther to the south of Edmond, though, for example. But we're looking at Wiley Post Airport, so that's Bethany, War Acres again, Lake Overholser. You're looking at areas there where you could be looking at some large hail out of that one too, as that moves generally off to our northeast, and this will be moving through more of the northern part of OKC and the north metro there too. More storms continue to be warned. In fact, let's go over to the one that's by Twin Lakes there and the Crescent area. You've got that area there too that's got the potential here for some large hail also. So that one's on our radar being picked up down there too, the potential for maybe 1 inch in diameter hail too. So another storm that's got severe thunderstorm warning criteria met with that one. And really, we're also looking at more storms here for us here south of the Stillwater area. We've got another storm there. It looks very good with our reflectivity. That one also probably has some inch and a half in diameter hail with that one too. And strong winds also can be seen with really any of these storms. So lots going on here. If we wouldn't mind, let's go and take a look at Mike's shot here. He's back going right now, and just kind of want to see what Mike's plan is as he continues to be tracking these storms here in the area. Mike, over to you.
Mike is going to get on I-35 south and go towards Purcell or Goldsby and intercept this other storm here that we were concerned about, and it's obviously tornado warned. So, yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm kind of driving through more here. I haven't really seen any significant damage or anything from wind or hail or anything, so that's a good sign.
Well, that's good, yeah. We will let you get back into position then. We'll check back in with you a little bit later. But again, we are still eyeing here multiple severe thunderstorm warnings and also a tornado warning that is in effect here for locations more on the southwest side of town here too. So we will take a look now again at our tornado warned storm. And you can see that Mike is now heading, is going to be getting on I-35 here very soon. He's going to be heading southward, and he's going to be heading towards the Goldsby area just to kind of meet up with it and see what's able to happen here as this storm is going to essentially kind of go over 35. And if it still holds on to its tornadic characteristics, he'd be in a good spot to potentially see that rotation again as he gets closer to it. Rotation-wise, areas of broad rotation are still being present there in a couple of spots. This is a pretty big storm here. We've got, again, it covers a very large area there, and so we are looking at maybe a couple areas there of some rotation, but that's enough for the National Weather Service to continue to watch this and provide us with that tornado warning. And so we're going to keep on watching this one too closely with us there. Russ, do you want me to take over so that way you can talk with Jeremy?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. No, I just want to add, National Weather Service is pretty much on par with what we've been saying with regards to those areas of rotation just in the northeast of Chickasha.
Okay. All right, very good here. So we are currently, it's at 7:03 right now. Meteorologist Jack Griffin, we've got meteorologist Ross Muma also in the studio too. We are tracking our storms. We have our field meteorologist Mike Williams out here. We've got multiple severe thunderstorm warnings and a tornado warning out there for storms that have throughout the afternoon now into the evening hours have really done quite a bit in the way of potential damage here with our very large hail that we've seen. All these storms here have been warned here for at least quarter-size hail, if not even larger than that. Earlier reports, we've had up to baseball-sized hail, and so we are going to be looking at that to be kind of the main focal point here with these storms here is going to be that hail threat that'll be associated with these storms here. Let's go.
Jack, I just want to zoom in. We've seen some reports here from the National Weather Service of that circulation that did move through the Newcastle and the Moore and Norman area, kind of re-upping again just to the southwest of Tinker Air Force Base. Now, I know we are very, very close to the Twin Lakes radar currently here, but there is shown to be a fairly decent-looking couplet there. Yeah,
that one looks like it just kind of intensified there. Got looks like a new tornado warning out of that also.
So that tightest area of rotation, just for reference, near South Sooner Road and Southeast 104th Street.
Yep, so it's just to the south of 240 there. And if you are wondering, we've got normally this would be the Masked Singer. You set your DVR for 2 a.m. for early tomorrow morning, 2 a.m. tonight. That way you can watch it in its entirety there. Again, I know we are covering up the Masked Singer. That'll be airing tonight at 2 a.m. So you set your DVR to then, too. So we've got right by Tinker Air Force Base, this new tornado warning until, Ross, what time does this go until? 7:45?
Yep.
Okay. 7:45 there. So the areas in and around the Tinker Air Force Base, Midwest City. We've got Choctaw in the area, too. This area of rotation looks like it just really spiked up there, and we've got a better view here of some of the locations that are going to be picked up here. So again, like you said, Tinker Air Force Base, Midwest City High School. If you live by St. Anthony's Hospital, we've also got those areas there that are impacted now with this new tornado warning. So right now have 2 tornado warnings out there in effect. We've got this one that just kind of spiked back up again, and we've also got the one down here towards the Newcastle area, to the Blanchard area, Bridge Creek, Middleburg area. That one has been now a little bit of an older storm now with it. It looks to still have some areas of rotation with it too, but in terms of the tight rotation, Ross, the new one looks to have a much better area of rotation, correct?
Yeah, the Chickasha and the Newcastle storm, still pretty disorganized, just a very large storm with lots of rain and some hail there. But yeah, there seems to be a tightening of the couplet there. It is just starting to cross I-240 there near Southeast 74th Street and Sooner Road.
Yep, so again, make sure that you are in your safe spot for locations that are in and around Tinker Air Force Base, Midwest City. That area of rotation is very close to that. It's moving generally off to the northeast, so it's going to be likely impacting locations very close to the Air Force Base there, if not even directly impacting it, depending on the path of this. And you can see that we've got...
I just wanted to toss the debris tracker up just to make sure. It doesn't look like we have anything touched down yet or no debris ball necessarily, but just wanted to check with how tight that couplet was starting to look.
But even still, too, we've got some very, very large hail with this storm, too. So that's another, again, these storms here have multiple facets to them here. They could potentially be warned for tornado warnings with the rotation, but they all have been at least warned here for the hail. And in fact, you've got a big core there that's just right now kind of Tinker Air Force, and then also to the east of there, you've got Midwest City, so to the southeast of there, an area potentially with our radar being picked up there, potentially 3 inches or greater diameter worth of hail there. So we've got, again, very, very large hail associated with the storm. It has always had that likely intensification there. This hail core is probably also because it has intensified there with the rotation. And so that's what we're looking at here.
And
looks
that
like
is
it's
just confirmed. Yes.
Yep.
National Weather Service also had just issued that likely tornado just beginning to cross I-240 just south of Tinker Air Force Base.
Yep. So, okay. So we have now a confirmed tornado on the ground there just to the south of the Tinker Air Force. That is 240 there. And Sooner Road is a little bit off to the west of there. So it's, again, right in that location there that we'd be looking at the potential there for that tornado to be on the ground there. So nearby the locations of Tinker Air Force Base, Midwest City. Now we really got to be making sure that we are taking our tornado precautions here. Even Choctaw down the line there, Woods. We are also looking like those locations potentially could be impacted as it's moving to the northeast at around 20 miles an hour. Tinker Air Force Base, 713. We've got Nakoma Park at 730, Woods 732, and Dungy Park at 736 out here. And then we've also got the severe thunderstorm warning on the outside of it, too, because of the hail threat that is with this, too. And so, Ross, again, a storm that has 2 very big problems with it, a confirmed tornado and also very, very large damaging hail that is on the ground there. So again, that area of rotation is right by Tinker Air Force Base. Here is Del City. It's likely going to be passing just to your south there, but very large hail still likely a possibility there in Del City. And really everywhere that has this tornado warning in effect here. But again, it is confirmed. It's likely just crossing over 240 nearby southeast 74th. We've got... Again, the velocity looks to be a little messy right now because of the fact that we're still fairly close to the radar, but it is still looking to show up there nicely with that with the reds and the greens there, your inbound, your outbound winds. We've got that couplet there that shows up nicely, even though we are close to the radar. And it does make sense by radar standards that we've got a tornado on the ground there. So we're going to let Ross still continue to post those updates here to social media. But again, locations in and around the Tinker Air Force Base, and then off to the north and to the northeast from there, Midwest City, Woods, Choctaw, even Hara is also in it too. You've got the very good classic-looking rotation couplet out of that. You've got the very good reflectivity hook echo with that too. So everything radar-wise looks to be pretty textbook with this tornado-warned storm. Ross, you got anything new over there as of right now?
Nothing new, but it will likely be rain wrapped, so it's going to be very, very difficult to see if we do have any chasers out there. Obviously, Mike not near this storm. He's near the storm, headed towards the Newcastle area. But for anyone out and about, obviously, this is right near I-240 and headed towards the I-40 corridor there in Midwest City. So a very, very dangerous situation again. Confirmed tornado on the ground. It's going to be rain wrapped. Also some very, very large hail. So yeah, just take your tornado precautions. Get inside to the most interior part of your home or as low as you can, and just hunker down here for a bit.
Yep. If you wouldn't mind, Ross, could you just do another track on that too?
Yep.
Confirmed tornado until 7:45 for the east side of town here. You can see that moving to the east at around 20 miles an hour. So Tinker Air Force Base, again, very, very close to it right now. 714 is what we're showing here. You want to get down to your safe spot immediately. Nakoma Park 732, Wood 734, and Dungy Park 739. This is the only confirmed tornado warning that we have seen so far this evening. We've had other tornado warnings, including for this supercell earlier on. It was looking like it had some good rotation. It kind of weakened a little bit, and then it really did intensify as it got closer to 240 there. And then we had the new tornado warning, eventually now confirmed tornado warning with it. So fairly long-lived supercell moving through the kind of south and southeast, now east side of the metro area. And it has, again, also exhibited not only the rotation here, which is why we now have the confirmed tornado, but the very, very large hail, too. At some points, our radar is estimating it to be a greater than 3-inch in diameter hail. So, again, we are looking at multiple issues with this storm here, the tornado and also the large hail threat that does extend out from the area of circulation. But, again, the area of circulation is very close right now to Tinker Air Force Base. Looks to be a little bit more messy right now, but still, though, it looks to be fairly good enough here to keep things going with that confirmed tornado report.
I'm just going to head back down here real fast.
Sure. Yep.
To give the folks down near the Bridge Creek and Newcastle area
Yep. So
a little bit of an update.
This one's still radar estimate or radar indicated.
Yep. Spotters reporting a rotating wall cloud near the Blanchard and Dibble area.
Okay.
So I think this entire storm is really rotating with just some areas that begin to see a little bit of a lowering, but overall nothing like what we're seeing up there at Tinker.
Yeah. So the rotation doesn't look to be as good with that one. It still is there, but that's why that one still is just radar indicated tornado warning. Not necessarily saying it's going to be a weaker storm because it still has a very large hail with it too, where it could still be up to around 2 inches in diameter, but the velocity doesn't look to be as impressive as that one does here. So we're still looking at now 2 active tornado warnings. Ross, if you wouldn't mind just kind of zooming way out and just kind of showing everyone just the broad picture here of really all of the warnings that we have in place. They extend now generally up 35 towards the Guthrie area and actually towards the Stillwater area too. We've seen a number of storms that have had warnings on them, again, for the hail threat. Now for the Edmond area too, we have another storm that's passing over that is going to also provide them with a chance for some large hail too. But on the south side of it, we're looking at 2 tornado-warned storms, including the one here in the far southeastern corner and southern parts here of Oklahoma County for us here to have that confirmed tornado. Again, you've got Tinker Air Force Base, there's Midwest City, and so again, you can see here with our reflectivity that you've got the good-looking hook echo there. Velocity-wise, we probably have to wait for a second here to kind of have it catch up with the latest scan, but very large hail also seen with this storm too, as it's been at times 2 inches, 3 inches in the possibility here, and if not even higher or greater than 3-inch in diameter hail. So a very, very large and destructive hail core associated with the storm too, as it moves pretty slowly now to our northeast here. So here's Choctaw, for example. That area of very large hail is probably heading your way. It is just to the southwest of you here, but that area of rotation will be farther back to the southwest there. And again, you can kind of see that there right by the Tinker Air Force Base area. We've got that area of rotation. Looks to not be as impressive right now with the latest scan, but it is still there. Basically, again, very close to the Tinker area, and there's Midwest City. So again, locations within this tornado-warned storm, with this tornado warning polygon, want to make sure that we're taking our safety precautions here, getting to our shelter as it moves generally off to our south, or our northeast rather.
And good news, nothing really showing up on the debris tracker just yet, Jack. So yeah, hopefully that is some good news. Again, we are very, very close to the radar, so it might be hard to tell.
Yeah, which is why, normally when we look at an area that's got the blue on the debris tracker there, we'd think that there it is, but we are very close to the radar, and there's also a lot of large hail in there too, so that sometimes can kind of mess with the radar beam a little bit there. But again, it is still confirmed as of right now, and we're watching that area of circulation there. We've got that couplet there. Here's I-40, Southeast 29th Street. There's Midwest City there, Tinker Air Force Base. It's very close to these locations. You're probably about to cross over I-40 as of right now. And the latest velocity scan there kind of messes it up a little bit. It's kind of a bit more broad, but we're still watching that area there, kind of right by the Tinker Air Force Base area, for there to be that potential there for a confirmed tornado on the ground. That's at least what it was warned for initially, and potentially could still be on the ground as of this time. Can we see where Mike is right now? Just kind of see where he's at. And yeah, so Mike potentially is on his way towards the Goldsby area. Let's take his shot, and Mike, kind of let us know what you're seeing right now, and again, what your plan is.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stop here near Goldsby, and this storm will overtake me. And if you see, just a second here, see on the stream, you have a good. This is why we were concerned about this storm. It has a very good uninterrupted inflow going into it.
Yeah, because you can see blue skies.
Right, absolutely. So I am going to hang around this area here, and a little bit of rain, got a little bit of hail, maybe dime-sized hail right now, but this storm is, if you're in Norman, regardless of tornado and all that, we're going to have another large hail event probably going through. A new tornado warning just came out on that storm, by the way.
Yep. We just got that alert here too. So again, we are still watching the storms that are out there, and we actually can see there. Yep. So there's Mike. So he's now in the new tornado warned area. This is now for portions of McLean and Cleveland counties until 8 o'clock now, and this still remains again radar indicated. However, the rotation looks to be just a little bit better now with that new area of. With that new area of rotation there, looks to be a little bit better now, showing up on our velocity scanner. And so again, right by the Blanchard area.
Can you guys, you still have me?
Yep. You can go ahead.
So look at the stream there. You can see the entirety of the storm, and you can see the inflow going in from the left, and then the entire storm is rotating underneath. So absolutely beautiful presentation of a supercell structured storm here.
Yeah,
so this is very, very concerning.
Yeah, so what Mike is saying here, it looks very textbook in the fact that all the major pieces are in play here, and they're all in the kind of the right spots for there to be the potential here for this storm to continue to hold on to its strength. So we're going to watch this one here closely. Again, Mike is going to get himself set up there into position, and so again, he is just now getting off of I-35, like you can see there in the Goldsby area, but the area by Blanchard is the area that we have to kind of watch out for that area of rotation. It looked really good there on his shot, so we'll keep on checking back with him periodically. Again, this is the newest tornado warning that we do have. It remains radar indicated, but we have known now for based on the tornado warnings that we've seen so far, that this can actually become a confirmed tornado here really at any point here. We've got the ingredients that are in place for that potentially to make it all the way down to the ground. So we want to again make sure that we are in our safe spot there and taking our tornado precautions as we head throughout the next about 45 minutes or so, again, for portions of Cleveland as well as McLean counties there. So that's going to be our new warning there with our storm, as that will continue to move generally off to the east-northeast at around about 20 miles an hour or so. So Mike is now getting into good position there. Again, he is now off at 35. He's now probably just south of Highway 9 right there. He might even be on it. But again, you've got the Blanchard area 720, Cole 733, and Goldsby where closer to where Mike is at now until 745. So he is now traveling westbound, and he's going to be getting closer to that storm, going to intercept it there, and he'll be able to see what's going on in terms of rotation, because it looks very impressive here with his picture from his live shot there. Ross, if you wouldn't mind, if we could go back to our confirmed tornado warning here too, just to kind of give Mike a second here to get himself into position. That is the storm now. It still remains confirmed tornado. It still does have an area there of rotation by Midwest City. It's now been basically now moving past and moving over the Tinker Air Force Base area and moving to the northeast at around 20 miles an hour. So we're looking at Nakoma Park at 730, Dungy Park 736, Wood 736, Choctaw 738, and then Jones at 746. Also very large hail with this one too. Again, the potential is there for 2-3 inches, if not even more, in terms of large hailstones that could be falling out of this storm too. So again, we are watching multiple issues with these storms here this afternoon, now going into the evening hours as we continue to watch these storms coming off the dry line here. And it was a very conditional threat for today. We didn't think there was going to be a whole lot of activity, and we really actually saw far more activity than I think what we're thinking here. And that's been very impressive to watch, as a lot of the storms here have had some very, very large hail associated with them. So we're going to take Mike's shot, if you wouldn't mind, guys. Ross, you all good?
Yeah, I'm good over here.
Okay. We're going to take Mike's shot, and again, Mike, you can see the lowering there with the mesocyclone in terms of its hail. You got any hail where you're at right now?
Right now. I'm not going to be able to avoid this for sure. So we're going to get a really good picture of this real quick here.
It does look impressive here. We've got a very low
it
lowering.
Absolutely is probably one of the most impressive storms I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, it's just this is the one we were really. I mean, obviously every storm is concerning, but we were really concerned that if you have a storm that's not in a good area that's able to produce a tornado, then you have another storm that's in a great area, then, it's likely going to try to do the same.
Yeah, and again, this is the southernmost storm of our kind of complex of storms right now, so it's got nothing to impede on its inflow. And Mike, you can see on your shot there that you've got some pretty bright skies behind the storm.
Right. Yeah, it's got just. So here we go. We're going to get
there
a
it is.
really nice view right here. There you go.
Can you see with
Wow! Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive scientifically for sure.
And you can see the mesocyclone there. Do you have the striations? We can kind of pick those out here, even with the contrast on your camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, the other storm, there wasn't a lot of wind going on. This one, I've got a really big area of inflow wind going into it, so that's a sign of strengthening as well. And then we're going to see some hail here or here, but again, just like the other storm, if there's going to be a tornado, we will see it right here.
Yeah, because you've got.
That's a very low wall cloud. It's very low to the ground.
Yeah, I was going to say that is an extremely low wall cloud. And how much would you say, as Ross is kind of figuring some things on the radar, how much would you say distance-wise are you away from what you're looking at right now?
Probably about. Yeah, so that looks like it's right over Blanchard proper.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the. Ooh, wow. So lightning is picking up. That's another sign of a strengthening storm. So, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So again,
I'm in a good position here. So we're good, but it's really ramping up. There's a big. It's hard to see on the stream because it doesn't really have the the sharpness, but.
It's a good shot. I mean, we can see how low that wall cloud is. We can see the rotation of it too, even back here, and the whole structure looked to be very, very sound there. You can see the striations within the mesocyclone itself as you were approaching, as you're kind of getting into position there. So it looks to be very impressive.
The lightning is picking up tremendously.
Yeah.
This is a strengthening storm for sure.
Then again, it is it's the southernmost storm that we do have, so it is going to be the one that is able to really take full advantage of the hot and really good ingredients that are in place right now. Again, that is where Mike is at. You can see right over the Blanchard area there. That is where our velocity looked to be the best there, and so that is where he is looking at. So he's looking generally to the kind of southwest. Is right now where Mike is looking at. You've got some raindrops on your windshield. Any hail where you're at right now, Mike, as this storm is approaching you?
No, I'm kind of in a clear spot here.
Okay.
But, the last time I saw structure and rotation like this, there was it produced a pretty big tornado down by. Okay, well, here we go. So there's a funnel right there.
Is it just right around that pole? I think we can see that there.
Right.
Yep, behind that pole there is where that looks like it. So it's going to come from behind that pole here in just a moment.
Fox 25 News. We're good. So if we have one, it'll be right between those two telephone poles. It's a very impressive storm, though. But I'm good. Thank you, sir. You bet.
There you go, Mike. Yep, so just getting checked in on. Yeah, Mike's doing good there. Again, we are watching the storm. This is by the Blanchard area right now, and you can see that it's got great lowering there. They're likely, like Mike said, that he can see the funnel cloud that was trying to lower there. In terms of total visibility there, can't see if anything is on the ground right now, but it again remains tornado warned as of this time. Mike, what are you seeing right now based on where you're at right now in terms of everything okay over there?
That was very nice of him to get out in the pouring rain. Yes, that was a sheriff officer.
That's good that they're
yeah.
checking in.
Yeah, he was also asking me what I thought was going on there. So yeah, it's really that the tail end of this storm or that wall cloud is really pulling in. So if anything, it's looking a little better as far as structure-wise.
Yeah, and we've got the triple boxes up right now, so we've got our radar up too. And we can see that right by the Blanchard area there, it looks to be probably just a little bit better in terms of that area of rotation. So again, it does back up nicely with what you are seeing right now with your view.
Absolutely, yes.
And
so this could be any second here. So I would believe this is going to be close to some of the Blanchard city limits would be kind of where we're looking, I think.
yeah, it's basically right over the Blanchard area there, and again, it's also includes locations like Goldsby, Noble. It actually goes to the east, picks up Norman again too, Franklin, Lake Thunderbird. These are all locations that are in that tornado warning, and so again, we're going to need to watch this one closely there. But again, you've got a good lowering there. Mike, it just looks like it is just trying its hardest to put something down there, and it hasn't done it yet. But that wall cloud is very, very low right now.
It's just impressive as far as a tornado-producing storm or capable of being one. So, it's got its own, like we said, it's got its own inflow. It's kind of got its own little environment here. So there's no reason why it would weaken anytime soon. But we're gonna watch it here.
Yeah, and we've got again. This is the tornado warning storm that we're concerned about. We also have another tornado warning still that is in effect closer towards the Midwest City there area. Ross, if you wouldn't mind just kind of just moving back over there again. That one looks like we've got that velocity now does not look to be as good looking as it did earlier on.
Yeah, it looks to be a little bit more disorganized as it heads closer to the Choctaw area.
Has National Weather Service said anything about it?
No, not that I've seen recently. They've pretty much been zoned in on this storm near the Blanchard area.
Okay.
That the storm movement continues to be to the east and northeast, but the circulation itself, as you could kind of see from Mike's shot there, was nearly stationary. So yeah, everything's kind of zoned in on that storm there near Blanchard, headed towards Newcastle and more currently.
Okay. It looks like there's a new severe thunderstorm warning coming out for the Newcastle Moore area, north side of the storm near Blanchard. There could be up to baseball-sized hail. So it's...
Yeah, Mike, you might just want to be pretty careful. We're seeing very large hail, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches. You just heard Jack mention potentially baseball-sized hail. That is literally just about a mile or two to your west.
You can't see it, but I can. That rotation is right over Blanchard, right over the city, right now. So yeah. Nothing on the ground yet, but it is right over Blanchard.
Again, we got to make sure that in the Blanchard area there, we got to make sure that we are in our safe spot as, again, this dangerous storm is working right over the Blanchard area there, too. If anything is going to be seen, it potentially could be rain-wrapped. Mike's vantage point looks to be good, but, Mike, I don't know if you heard Ross there. You've got some very, very large hail with that one, too. Potential to baseball-sized hail. So
okay.
we'll keep you up to date there, but it's probably about a mile or so to your west, that heaviest core there.
Yeah, 3-inch sized hail was just reported to the southwest of Blanchard. So that'll be headed your way here shortly.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, actually, I'm starting to see some right now, so I may move here for a second.
Yeah, because we don't want when you get to that size hail there, that is going to be definitely devastating there and destructive. Again, that's been the case here with a lot of our storms that have been out there today. Whether they have had tornado warnings or not, they have had the potential here for some huge hail. Again, radar estimates a little bit on the higher side usually compared to what actually happens to the ground, but with, like Ross just said, we have had reports to the west of the Blanchard area of 3-inch in diameter hail. So we are looking at just very, very huge hail, again, moving through locations that not too long ago already had that large hail. So again, we've got Mike on position there on that tornado-warned storm nearby the Blanchard area, but in areas like Newcastle and Norman off to our east from there. We're going to have to be especially aware of that too. And you can see that we've got this severe thunderstorm warning that has the destructive severe thunderstorm warning tag on it because of that very large hail that can be seen with it. Again, that's kind of on the north side of the storm here. That would include locations like Newcastle, I believe also Norman, based on where that looks like. There's so many polygons out there.
But that includes Norman as well.
Yeah, so we do have, with these destructive severe thunderstorm warnings, your phone is going to go off as if it was a tornado warning. So be advised of that because, again, very, very large hail associated with these storms as these are moving to the east-northeast, about 20, 25 miles an hour or so. But Mike is on this storm. He is on this is basically the southernmost storm. There actually was a storm that was down by Lawton that actually has a severe thunderstorm warning on it too. And that one's also kind of moving up 44, but really, though, we are still watching here a number of storms in and around the metro area from the north side to the south side where we are still dealing with those severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. You can see, for example, we've got, Edmond is in a location that has a severe thunderstorm warning still on the north side of town here. And we've got Arcadia and also Meridian. So we've got a lot of locations on the north side of the metro area that are still within that severe thunderstorm warning because the hail threat with that one, too. But again, we are still eyeing, though, 2 tornado-warned storms. We'll kind of go back to it. You can kind of see here that we've got the confirmed tornado warning that does go until 7:45. It doesn't look to be as impressive on our velocity, and I know that National Weather Service might just let this one go, or they might issue a new warning here soon for it. Based on what they've said so far in chat, I don't think that they've done that yet.
Well, actually, if you can look close there is a red line going in between. So I believe they just issued a new tornado warning for that. And
Okay.
I think they're going to end up getting rid of the confirmed tornado warning.
Okay.
They've kind of mentioned here over the past couple minutes as we've been covering the Blanchard storm that overall circulation has weakened, but they were still going to keep the warning on it in case it recycled again since this storm has had a history of producing a tornado. So I think they're just kind of being safer than sorry. There with that storm.
Yeah, because it has recycled now like 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
at this point now. So it does make sense for them to kind of be in a holding pattern and watch out on that one here. But again, this is right by the Choctaw area, the Dungy Park area. Those have been locations that we've been naming now for quite a while at this point. So again, we want to make sure that we